Hey, what's going on? This is Troy, and this is the Planet 76 podcast, your source for Sixers news, highlights, hot takes, and more. Welcome to the show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Planet 76. Michael, I've got a very, very simple question for you. It's not how I let off a couple weeks ago with the weird one.
I like these questions.
This one's even better. Okay? My question for you, and for those of you that watch, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those of you that listen, let me explain. So since the beginning of Planet 76, I've had this little Ben Simmons doll right next to my microphone, Michael. So my question for you is on or off of the set today? What do you think? Ben Simmons?
Off.
What was your answer? Off.
Goodbye.
Okay.
It was off.
Understandably
You
so.
You should. We can talk about this more off recording, but you should do something nice and special with that Ben Simmons doll, and not something good either.
Right. I mean, it could be a good bathroom decoration. I don't know. I don't know. Sky's the limit. So, offset today. You heard Michael. So Ben Simmons is no longer on the set of Planet 76. All right, Michael. What are we getting into today? It's almost October. When people are going to be listening to it, it's going to be October. That means basketball is back. What are we getting into?
As Troy just said, basketball is more or less officially back. But today we got Planet 76. I believe this is episode 15.
Right.
I could be really wrong,
right.
but it's episode 15. We've been rolling.
I think
not
it's
15.
I want to say you got me confused now. I want to say it's 18. I want to say 18.
Man. Well,
we'll know when this is
Either
up,
way.
so it'll say what episode, but I'm thinking 18.
yeah. Either way, we got Planet 76 podcast. As you guys know, my name is Michael from Trust and Love, and we got my co-host Troy here. Planet 76. Make sure you guys go follow us on Instagram. Check us out on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you hear podcasts. There's like a million platforms. But we're gonna hop right in. As we both just said, basketball is back. The Sixers have started training camp. Media day was on Monday. Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey had a nice little joint press conference. I actually watched a little bit of it. Didn't catch the whole thing, but obviously I'm sure, Troy, you probably saw a bunch of stuff. I know everybody that's viewing saw a bunch of stuff. Tweets, recordings, videos, all this stuff from players, from Embiid, from Doc, from Daryl even. And, and like I said, training camp started. The Sixers are basically back. Preseason starts Monday, actually, which is so crazy. I can't believe the Sixers are back already.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, every time you turn the calendar to October, it's just something different. If you're a basketball fan, it feels good. It's obviously it's been an interesting offseason. Been a busy offseason. I mean, we've recorded the majority of our episodes of Planet 76 in the offseason. And so, we're just excited to even be able to and I'm just going to say I think we've done a pretty good job of maintaining. It's going to be good when we have basketball to talk about.
Very good job. We've been rolling with the
and
episodes.
It's only going to get better.
We've had some really good episodes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because we'll have real basketball to talk about. So we're looking forward to doing that on the pod, and we'll get you guys up to date even on just like what that's going to look like throughout our regular season. Because again, we've not been there. We've covered the playoffs, we've covered the off season, we've not covered a full 82 game season. We're looking forward to doing that. So, Ben Simmons, I'm going to go out on a limb. I saw some media stuff, media day stuff, a lot of Joel Embiid quotes, Doc Rivers. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Ben Simmons did not make it to media day.
No, and he has not been to training camp. Otherwise, we definitely wouldn't have known about it.
So, what's your take, again, just on the way you've seen, the Doc Rivers press conference, Daryl Morey, Joel Embiid? What's your take on just like the feel around the team about Ben? Because that's 80% of the questions and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, from what I've seen and from what's been seemingly going on is the Sixers, everyone included, Doc and Daryl, Joel Embiid even, all the way to Tyrese Maxey, they want Simmons back. They think he's important to the team. Obviously, they think that, especially Doc Rivers, the team seems fine with moving forward right now. They're, especially Embiid, seems really focused on the season and working with what they have currently. Joel Embiid quoted today. He wants. I mean, again, like I said, he wants Simmons back, but he can't focus on that right now. He's focused on the season. He's focused on who the Sixers have right now, who they're going to be moving forward with, and they're going to it seems like they're going to move forward as if Simmons won't show up. However, from the Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey little press conference on Monday, they think Ben Simmons will show up, and we can get into it again later, but I don't think that's a great idea.
Right.
And reports are saying he could stay after the season. Sixers will go down the path of finding him. Daryl Morey basically said that on Monday as well. He didn't say it explicitly, but he said,
right.
Somebody asked him a question. He said, you guys know, there's rules against this stuff. You guys probably have an idea, basically. He was beating around the bush a little bit, but he basically said, yeah, we have the intent of going through this protocol if Simmons takes this path, which he currently is.
Yeah, do you think the this thing of Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey, especially Doc, saying, yeah, we want Ben back, we want Ben back, we want Ben back. Now, is that a tactic? I mean, because your head coach and Daryl Morey as well aren't going to go up there and say, yeah, we got to get rid of Ben like tomorrow, meaning that Ben's trade value goes even lower than what people think it is. So I think it's got to be some sort of tactic to say, and whether or not maybe they do want him back, maybe they truly do, but like you're not going to promote that you don't want him back and that you're trying to sell him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of damage control, but also I think they want him back. I mean, just for the fact that they like Ben Simmons as a player, I guess that would make sense. But as a person, I don't know why, after everything that's been going on and the things that Ben Simmons has supposedly said about them and the team, I don't know why they would want him back. Again, they're not. Again, like you said, you said it very well. They're not going to say that they don't want him back. Obviously, they're going to roll with the opposite.
Right.
They're going to say they want him back, whether or not they actually do.
Yeah, I think it's obvious to say that they, off camera, kind of prepped each other in terms of what wording they wanted to use, just so no one would stumble. Yeah. Maybe Joel is included in that because they knew Joel was going to get a lot of questions, and maybe just so everyone was on the same page, so we at least present together, kind of the same agenda, if you will. So then there's reports saying that obviously Ben could hold out for who knows how long. We touched on that a little bit last week, but it could be the season or until he's gone. And that, just based on the situation, the Sixers, Ben will be fined by the Sixers. I saw some numbers today on that, just like if he misses training camp, he fines X amount of money. If he misses, 5 games, he misses out on this much money, etc. I don't know if all of those details or anything, but that's it's kind of wild to think that, we're going to fine Ben Simmons for not being there, and to think about, where we are now in terms of where we come with this. Yeah. And I saw one of those posts, Ben Simmons liked it or something. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that right before we started recording. I was like, what is this guy doing? Does he just not
trolling?
Care? How do you're going to be losing millions. How do you not care?
It's amazing. Yeah. So Ben Simmons liked the post that kind of gave that breakdown of what kind of money he's going to be looking at losing. It's just baffling. And then and I sent this to you last week, or maybe the week before, we already talked about it anyway. Ben was working out with John Wall, and they've been linked in some sort of maybe possible trade discussion because Houston's looking to get rid of John Wall. And, Ben's working out with him. He posts, like, a picture of John Wall, like, just kind of like, it's almost, it's too much that he's doing right now it's not intentional. You know what I mean? It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, there's no way it's not intentional. There's no way it's not intentional. Yeah. This guy's like, he thinks it's a joke. He's probably just laughing up in his $20 million mansion, like, this is hilarious.
How's it make you feel? Let's let it out. This is a safe place.
I mean, I don't understand how. Last week, the Woj report, that was the last straw.
I could tell.
I mean, everybody that knows how I feel about Ben Simmons knows my perspective on Simmons prior to last week. But after last week, that was the last straw for me. And you would think that that's how it would be for everyone. But of course, there is still people saying, "Oh, the Sixers, they haven't done enough for Ben Simmons. They haven't done this. They haven't done that." It's been 5 years. The Sixers have done everything in their power to help Simmons succeed. He is the one that hasn't put himself in a better spot to succeed. The Sixers, they literally gave him $200 million because they said, "Hey, Ben, we really want you here. Please stay. We're going to give you all this money because we want you to be a part of this team. You make this team better. We want you here." Obviously, there was probably some undertone of, like, "Hey, Ben, please improve a little bit." But either way, they gave him $200 million. How is that not enough to say, "We want you here, Ben"? And you still have people saying, "Oh, they should have, somebody." And again, I was telling you this off camera. I get these troll DMs like, "Oh, Ben Simmons. Without Ben Simmons, we're gonna be a lottery team." Or without Ben Simmons, all this, like, our defense is gonna be so bad.
Nope.
It's either people are trolls or they're just seriously, and I don't like to be, harsh or rude like this, or they're seriously out of touch with the Sixers and basketball. Because, obviously Ben Simmons was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. We all know this. But he wasn't our whole defense. We still have, dare I say, 2 Defensive Player of the Year candidates on our team.
Yep.
And it's like, I just
a lot more than most have.
Yes. I don't understand the mindset of, "Oh, Ben Simmons is our whole team."
Yeah.
Oh, the Sixers need to, the fans they need to stop making fun of Ben Simmons. To a point, yes. But a little criticism, as I've said before, at that point, it's like, if you are going to blame the fans for criticizing Simmons as if he has no fault and can do no wrong, that's a horrible mindset to have.
Right. And what I'll say to that, and there's really not a whole lot to add to what you just said because that was spot on. I could not have said that any better myself. But what I will add is this thing of fans thinking it's the end of the world because Ben's not here and we're going to be a lottery team. We're not going to make the playoffs. What I'll say to that is, and I don't get that, but I'll say that just because a team looks different doesn't mean it's significantly worse. We're not going to say it's better. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, we're a better basketball team without Ben Simmons. Especially if we don't get anything in return and Ben's on his couch and we don't have anything back. Like, of course not. But it's like, we've gotten accustomed to, you and I both, and everyone listening have gotten accustomed to a Sixers team that features Ben Simmons, who's as unique a player as you can have in the NBA at the point guard position.
In a lot
his
of
ability to
ways.
defend, his lack of shooting, his off the floor stuff. Like, there's just a lot. He's very unique, very fun, even just to keep up with over the last few years. And that's not your point guard now. And so, having Maxey, Milton, whoever, kind of fills into that role, it's different. 100% different players from Ben Simmons, but that doesn't mean it's, we're not out there. If Ben's not out there, it doesn't mean we're playing 4-on-5. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to have 5 guys that are out there on the floor, and they're going to give it their all, and it might look different. Doesn't mean it's bad. So that's kind of my addition to that.
Yeah, that's a really nice little side piece as well to kind of culminate everything. And the last thing I will say is that if you're still someone who's at bat for Simmons right now, after everything that in the past week alone,
right?
Like, something is missing. Like,
or something is wrong with you.
You might have missed something.
Going.
No, you might have missed something along the way because I just don't get it anymore. Like, maybe this is how some people felt with the things that I was saying, but
yeah, like,
I just don't understand it anymore.
Yeah,
he wants to leave. He doesn't want to be here. Why do you want him to stay? What benefit will the Sixers have? Okay, yeah, they'll be a little better probably because he's a good playmaker, defender.
Right.
He's a good passer. We know that stuff. What are we gonna gain what are the Sixers gonna gain as a team?
Right.
He's gonna mess up the chemistry. There's gonna be obvious tension because everyone has seen everything that this guy is doing and saying, and his team is doing and saying. Everyone sees that on the Sixers. You think they're just going to, oh, welcome back, Simmons, welcome back. It's not going to be that easy.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the negative of Simmons returning substantially outweighs the positive of him returning. At this point, I just don't see a reason for him to come back. Even if he sits the whole year, I don't care because there's too much damage done at this point on his end. And I just, it wouldn't be, the Sixers, I mean, like I said earlier, and this is straight from training camp, the Sixers are ready to go. Like, they're not waiting for Simmons to come back to start functioning as a team.
Right.
They're ready. And honestly, if they get in the swing of things and they're looking good, that even supports what I'm saying more.
Yes. That, oh my gosh, I thought about that like 2 days ago, and I'm going to bring it up now because I was like, I'm going to mention this next episode.
Yes.
So you mentioned that they, actually, we're going to talk about Tyrese Maxey. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it. We'll get there. We'll get there. So, no, you're exactly right. And if speaking from someone that is a humongous Ben Simmons fan, I know you are too, like, if we're not batting for Ben Simmons, you don't have a reason to either. Period.
I've been at it for the longest. I said it in a post, I think, on my Instagram. Yeah. I've been at this spot more than like 90% of Sixers fans.
Right.
And I'm done.
Exactly.
That should tell you a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, take
and
notes.
And you too.
Take notes. If we're done, it's okay for you to be done too.
Right.
All right. I'm done with Ben right now. So,
yeah.
Media day. Had some new faces in Sixers uniforms. Andre Drummond, who was looking a little hefty. I don't know if that was just me. He's a big dude.
I think he's a pretty burly dude.
Yeah, he is. But he just, woo. He's got to be pushing 300. Georges Niang was there as well. I remember watching him in college. He was fun to watch. Again, both seem ready to roll, kind of filling into the identity of the team again, just moving on. We're ready, and we're going to approach training camp, approach preseason, and get ready for a world without Ben Simmons, and we're all right with that. So, seems good. Seems like positive vibes. You like to see that. Yeah, I mean, what's your take on kind of the way that looks? First practice was what? A couple days ago?
Yeah, I think it was on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seemed like we're both saying, it seemed like the team looked good from what I've seen, from what I've heard from the guys at the I think it's in the practice facility in Camden.
Right.
Is that where that is?
I think so.
It's been there in the practice facility. The guys that are there, like all the reporters and stuff, everyone's saying, the team looks good. Everyone's quoting the players, saying everybody looks good. Joel Embiid had some nice things to say about Tyrese Maxey. So did Danny Green. A lot of the guys were together in the offseason as well. I think Matisse. I saw something about Matisse being with Tobias for some sort of training or working out at some point. I think I saw something as well about Shake getting some run with Maxey and Seth Curry as well.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see these guys developing some chemistry. And also from what I saw, the chemistry seems to be really good on a good level, especially because these guys have played together for a whole season already.
Right.
And aside for, like you mentioned, Drummond and Niang, these guys have been together, so they know each other. They know how each other works on the court.
Mm-hmm.
They know what each other is like, how they play. So it's really good to see. And also, one thing I also want to mention as a last part here is Doc Rivers had a lot of good things to say about Embiid. He said Embiid looked to be in even better shape, which is crazy because Embiid was in pretty good shape last year. He said Embiid looked to be in better shape than last season, and he said Embiid looked better than last season. So that's really good to see. And I know it's probably just Doc being a little bit more optimistic. But either way, I don't care. I think Embiid is going to have a great season. I think this little shot from Doc kind of supports that, I think.
Certainly not a bad thing. And I think it's a testament to Joel. I mean, he came in with, you remember, missed 2 seasons. Yeah. And, I mean, everyone's like, okay, this experiment didn't work, and he's made it work. I mean, couple freak injuries, the eye thing a few years ago, and the knee that he played through in the in the postseason last year. I mean, he's been healthy. He's been the centerpiece on this team, and so good to see that he's back and ready to roll for this season. Who are you, as a fan, who are you most looking forward to seeing play this year? One player.
I mean, I feel like I talk about it all the time, but I just am in awe when I watch Joel Embiid play. Just the things that he's able to do on the court. Just you can't. There's no other guy in the league besides for maybe like KD that can do. Obviously, KD does it at probably a better level because he's a little bit more quicker and a little bit more what's the word? I guess equipped to do some of the things that both of them do.
Right.
But I mean, these guys are 7-footers and they can dribble the ball like a guard. They can shoot. Post move. Embiid's post moves, just he does whatever he wants in the post. You can't stop him. You have to foul him. And there aren't a lot of guys in the league that have something like that where if you want to stop them from scoring, you have to foul them because you can't defend them.
It's a beautiful thing.
They're just gonna bully you, get past you, shoot over you, dunk on you. It's magnificent, really. Yeah. So my answer is Embiid. I'm expecting him to have another MVP type season. I don't know if he'll win the award,
right?
But I'm expecting him to have another MVP level season.
No doubt. You can't go wrong with that answer. Mine is by far, Tyrese Maxey.
Nice.
I'm so excited. He is quickly turning into a fan favorite. Before our eyes.
As soon as he was drafted, man.
Yeah.
He were like Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
I was like,
and it's steadily growing.
At first I was like, he seems pretty good. Like I knew nothing about him.
Yeah.
When he got drafted, everybody was like, oh my god, he's so good. I was like, all right, let's wait and see.
Yep. And now with all that's going on, I mean, it's just this is an exciting time for him. Exciting time to see what this kid's got in a big role. I'm pumped to see him. He put on some weight. He's looking good. We know the quickness is there. Curious to see how that jump shot's improved. Curious to see just even, from year one to year two. I mean, there's a difference in guys, and I'm excited to see what that's going to be for him. Yeah. Speaking of which, the first lineup rolled out in training camp featured the 4 starters from last year: Embiid, Harris, Danny Green, Seth Curry, and that man, Tyrese Maxey, in the starting lineup. You're shaking your head. Yep. We both love it, man. Let's go.
Yep, that's great.
So we think that's what it's going to be day one?
I mean, from the things that Doc was saying in the press conference, someone asked him about, I think someone explicitly asked him about starting point guard, and he basically said, he didn't say Maxey, another one of those beating around the bush kind of things.
Right.
Him and Daryl, like you said earlier, him and Daryl definitely had some behind the scenes conversation about this kind of stuff, but he basically said, I don't think it's... What exactly did he say? Let me think for a second. He said something along the lines of, I don't think it's exactly a mystery as to who will fill that spot. Something very similar to that.
Right.
If you guys want to go watch the press conference, find it and quote me, because I'm very close. I know. I'm very close. Okay. Something like that. And then he rolls out Maxey as a starting point guard in their first practice. So... That's all. That's what we have to go off of, and I think that's a pretty solid base.
Okay. And here's what I wanted to hit on earlier with Tyrese Maxey. This is it.
Okay.
This is gonna blow your mind. It's probably not, but we're gonna talk about it. Okay, so Tyrese Maxey's starting point guard, and you mentioned, well, you said let's see how they start the season. Let's see, let's roll. Let's see how they do out the gate, and that's what made me think of this. So Tyrese Maxey's our starting point guard. Ben Simmons is on the team. Let's say, through the first 15 games of the season, hypothetically. Tyrese Maxey is our starting point guard. We go 12-3 out the gate, 15 games. Tyrese is playing solid. 11-4, I don't know. 12-3, 11-4, something solid. Okay? Tyrese is looking great. Great, okay? Imagination, very hypothetical here. Better than you can even imagine Tyrese is playing. That, in my opinion... If he comes out, and I get it's just 15 games, but in my opinion, if Tyrese plays that well early on, that changes the approach that the Sixers have in terms of what they're looking for for Ben Simmons. Because if after 15 games you can say Tyrese Maxey is my point guard, and I get that is a long shot. Like I get that we might not be that confident, but if you can say that after 15 games, the Sixers' need for like a point guard could be different. That's my hot take.
Okay. I don't even really. I may want to let that sit for a while and think about it later, but I don't even know if that's really a hot take, because if he really the only hot take part about it is just the if part. Right. But if he really develops and really takes a solid leap to start the season, that's really accurate, because the team will have a point guard. Right. And they won't have to worry about getting a point guard in return. Obviously they'll probably need a backup point guard at some point. But
the approach is different, I think.
I think if you
have Tyrese come out the gate on fire, and I get that, there's a lot of ifs in this, I get that. But if he does, it can change your approach. And I think the opposite of that is true. Tyrese comes out, we don't look good. We go 4-11 in the first 15. And now tell me I'm wrong. It's more of a rush to get rid of Ben. You might have to settle. Like, there's a lot that can play into that, because again, the Sixers, they're not the Nets, they're not the Bucks, they're not the Lakers, but they are in a season where they have one of the best players in the NBA, and they're in win now mode because that guy is in his prime. Meaning that if you start slow, you need to fix it so this year isn't just a total waste. And so, one, if you start slow, what's the difference in the starting lineup? It's Tyrese Maxey's in the starting lineup. Two, that could mean that we need a point guard. Just saying.
Yeah, that's honestly a great thought to keep in the back of your mind when the season begins, because it really is true. If Maxey plays well out the gate, the Sixers' approach on a Simmons deal could be different. Now, obviously, Daryl Morey might be totally set on what he wants from any Ben Simmons deal, but you really never know.
Mm-hmm. It's just something to keep your eye on.
Yeah.
For early in the season. So if again, Maxey's 20 years old, and hopefully he doesn't listen to this so he doesn't feel too much pressure. But he's the difference in the starting lineup. He's gonna be the one that, like, you hate to say it, he'll probably be the one to receive the blow if the Sixers don't get off to a good start, because he's the difference. And to go along with the guys on the bench, to go along with Shake, to go, but if you come out and play well early on, and you establish yourself as the point guard, like, that's gonna do some really good things for this team. So just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely.
So who else other than Tyrese, and we'll probably end with this one.
Yeah.
Who else needs to? Who else do you foresee stepping up this season?
Well, who else needs to? Definitely Shake.
Right.
After this past season, he was pretty inconsistent, as we all know. Definitely Shake. I would love to see another All-Star level season from Harris. I think we'll get it too, but I would love to see it from Harris. And honestly, that's it. I don't really have a lot of expectations for Drummond. Niang, I know what he's going to bring, so I'm excited to see Niang play. And then maybe Ferg, I guess. Maybe just consistency from Ferg. Maybe a little more shot attempts if he gets the minutes. Maybe a little better of an overall offensive game, and then maybe a little bit better on defense. He's gotten minimally better as each season goes along, but I would definitely like to see a little bit better from Ferg and Shake as well.
Right. Yeah, I agree with those. I think Shake's the big one that jumps off the page to me. Again, given the inconsistency last year and all that, and also just to what we were talking about a moment ago with it now being Tyrese and Shake, that's kind of who's going to bring the ball up the floor this season. For the time being, if Tyrese has an off night, we know it's going to happen. Everybody does. What's Shake going to do? Because it's not like this job is, again, it's not a mystery as you say, the doc said, but if Maxey's having a bad night, Shake's going to be in at the end of the fourth if Shake's doing okay. Like, there's a big role for him to play where, he might not last year finish on the floor at the end of a game, but he certainly can this year, just given the circumstance. And so I think it's big for those two guys to just come out and play well and feed off each other. And again, even if one's bad, the other one can step up and fill that role. And, hopefully there's not a, huge drop off or anything like that. So those are two, those the 2 point guards, of course, just given the situation. And then interested to see Matisse in year 3.
Me too.
Just to see what he's going to do, what he's capable of. See what improvements he makes on offense. We know the defense. We know he's amazing. We say it over and over and over and over and over. But what kind of strides, what kind of jumps is he making on offense this season? And just, what is that going to look like for the Sixers? Because we know it's going to help. You've said it a million times till your face turns blue. If he improves on offense, he's a starter in the NBA. Yeah. So what kind of strides is he going to make to even earn himself some more minutes? Because if you can go from being just this defensive guy to a guy that isn't a liability on the floor on offense, you're going to get minutes. It's just the facts. And so look for him. And I think he will step up. I think he will improve. He's made improvements. Look for that to continue in year 3 for Matisse Thybulle.
Definitely. Really looking forward to that as well.
What else you got? You need to vent any more about Ben, or are you feeling all right?
Honestly, I've got most of it out. That was actually pretty good. Got most of it out, and I did a little bit on my post today. I did a little bit of my post today, so that helped too. I wrote a whole essay on that. I hope people actually read it because I actually put some time into that. Put some real.
I'll go check it out.
Thoughts into that.
Go check it out. Trust the Love on Instagram. Leave a comment. Tell Michael just to get him going. Send him a DM about how valuable Ben Simmons is to the Sixers and how much we need him.
Oh my gosh.
Get him going.
Oh
I might send one after we're done here just to fire him up. He'll text me and be like, "We need to record again. I need to get this out."
Redo the episode.
Hey, other than that, follow us on Planet 76. If you have questions or anything, we love opening some mail on the show.
Send us questions. Yeah.
Send us a DM on Instagram. Send us an email. Whatever it's going to be. We would love to dive into that again as we are in the preseason now. It feels good.
Yes, sir. Feels great.
It feels good.
Yep.
All right, this is Planet 76. And, Michael, we are
out.
Done. We're out. I almost said out. Should have said out. Peace. You just listened to an episode of the Planet 76 podcast. Hey, we appreciate you joining us for this episode. Whatever platform you're on, why don't you hit that subscribe button for us, and we'll see you next time.